Hi everyone, this is Remy. I want to talk about 3 or 4 different topics in the next few days, and I'm not quite sure where to start. Well, I am, but I don't want to because everybody's going to fuss at me anyway. But this topic is farting in school and how it affects others. You know, some schools around the nation, in America and in the UK and Australia, are very big schools. They have 3,000 or more students in them. Some of them, like grade schools and middle schools, only have a few hundred. And what you got to understand is that there's hundreds of all those schools all around the place. But in England, they have some mighty big schools, yes, with thousands and thousands of kids in it. And we're not even talking about universities and colleges over there. And they do have colleges. They like to call them universities, but they're just colleges, just like we have in the U.S. But this is what happens. You see, all these kids go to school and they fart all day long. Nobody can get in, although people can get out because you have fire drills and stuff like that. But the point is that all these farts build up. And then at the end of the day, they open the doors and all these farts are released into the atmosphere. Now, when you do that with several thousand schools, that's a lot of farts in the air. Now, when you're at home at night and you fart, that's just you or your family, and they're all farting, and the door's open on a regular basis, so not too much happens. But when you release these thousands and thousands of students' farts into the atmosphere, what happens? Well, I looked at a lot of weather maps lately to see what happened. I followed the weather patterns. Now, I'm going to pick on everybody here, so don't get me wrong. It's not just the UK. If you're in the UK, the weather and patterns are showing me that at 3 p.m. UK time, all the schools are open and the farts are released. Travel down over France, and everybody says France is the stinkiest place on earth. I wouldn't know. I've never been there. Well, yes, I have, but I don't remember it being stinky. I remember poop in the streets, I remember pee in the streets, but I don't remember it actually being a stinky place. But anyway, then after it leaves France, it goes down the coast, and it goes to Africa, and then to the Cape of Good Hope, which is Cape Horn by all intents and purposes, I think. After all these parts leave the Cape Horn, or the Cape of Good Hope, then it travels into the ocean, and the ocean currents and weather patterns carry it to the islands. And the islands have hurricanes, tsunamis, or what some people call tidal waves. Yes, tidal waves. The tsunamis and tidal waves, and then those create a vacuum, so to speak, of stink, and it creates hurricane. And the hurricane travels through the islands and comes to Haiti or Cuba, or in most cases the United States coast off of Florida. That's what happens when all the schools are released in the UK. So we have millions of dollars worth of damage from all the kids' farts from the UK. Now, I'm not including adults in that, but multiply that by the adults, because there's more adults out there than there are kids. So you multiply all those adults in the colleges and universities, and then you can imagine what is happening to our atmosphere. Now, Russian schools and Chinese schools don't have as many schools as the free world does. So you don't have that much, and it usually only covers their country. So when you see stinky snow in Russia, you know that it came from Russia. But what about the United States? Now, the United States is known for its education. May not be the greatest education, but we got schools all over the place. Of course, they release a lot of greenhouse gas too. And just like the UK at 3 p.m., they fart all over the place. Well, they don't fart all over the place. They already did that. But the farts are released, and thousands and thousands of schools, not including universities and colleges, let out and flood the atmosphere with farts. Now, if you watch the weather patterns, it'll usually start on the west coast instead of the east coast. Does that mean that we're getting parts from China? I think it does. I think we're getting the parts from China. And then as it hits Washington State, it starts moving inland, and there's a buildup over on the east coast that's causing severe weather patterns, and they all start moving towards the center, and then they go south and they cause rain and stink and smell. But wait a minute. What about Mexico? We don't have a wall built up yet from Mexico, but they eat a lot of beans. And even though not too many people there go to school, that's released in the atmosphere too. So you have waves of these parts coming up from the south into America. Some people say that America's a death trap because of that. Well, I got other explanations for that, but that's kind of true. I mean, if you look at the weather patterns, just look at them. You'll see them from China, you'll see them from Mexico, and you'll see them coming across the ocean from South Africa, and those came from the UK. Man, we are in trouble. Please pay attention here. I did this as a joke, sort of a prank, but actuality, if you'll look at the weather patterns, what I'm saying is true. Now, why the weather patterns showing that may be different, and I can't prove my theory, but I tell you what, I'm getting pretty close. Oh, the fact of me sitting in a wheelchair all the time where I can think about this stuff, just so logical. Anyway, you guys have a good day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share it. Thank you.